In a world obsessed with superheroes, very few people ever stop to ask a simple question. Who was the boy before the mask? Before the global fame? Before the red carpets? Before the thunderous applause echoing through cinemas? There was a child from southwest London, dancing on a small stage, unaware that destiny was quietly rewriting itself around him. This is not the story of Spider-Man. This is the story of the real human who grew up behind the most iconic suit of the modern era. A boy who battled learning challenges, a teen who trained relentlessly, a young actor who rose from a modest stage performance all the way to the beating heart of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Today we pull back the curtain, not to expose mystery, but to uncover truth. This is the real journey of Thomas Stanley Holland, from the classrooms of Wimbledon to the sound stages of Hollywood. No fiction, no embellishment, only the authentic, unstoppable rise of a young man who turned discipline, passion, and resilience into a global legacy. Intro: Tom Holland's story begins on June 1st, 1996, in Kingston upon Thames, London. Born to Dominic Holland, a comedian and writer, and Nicola Frost, a photographer, Tom's future was shaped inside a home filled with creativity, humor, and storytelling. He was the eldest of 4 brothers, a tight-knit unit that would become his lifelong anchor. Childhood wasn't always easy. Tom struggled with dyslexia from the age of 7, a challenge that made school difficult and forced him to work harder than most kids around him. But inside that challenge was the beginning of something extraordinary: the drive to prove himself. Long before the world recognized his athleticism on screen, Tom discovered movement through dance. Enrolling in hip-hop classes at Nifty Feet Dance School in Wimbledon, he found a new language, one spoken through rhythm, strength, and body control. This wasn't just a hobby. It was the foundation of the physicality that would later define his career. His talent was obvious, but what stood out even more was his commitment. Day after day, he trained, practiced, pushed himself. He wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing excellence. That pursuit led him to a moment that would change his life forever. While performing at a dance festival in 2006, Tom was spotted by a choreographer connected to the West End production of Billy Elliot the Musical. After 8 auditions and 2 years of brutal training, Tom earned the lead role. Not because he was the biggest or the strongest, but because he proved he could outwork anyone in the room. For the next several years, he performed on one of the biggest stages in London, mastering acrobatics, ballet, acting, and endurance. He was just a child, and yet he carried the weight of a professional adult career on his small shoulders. From there, his world expanded. Director J.A. Bayona cast him in The Impossible 2012, a role that would push Tom into the global spotlight. Critics praised his emotional depth, calling him one of the most promising young actors of his generation. He was no longer just a dancer or a stage performer. He was evolving into a force Hollywood could not ignore. But nothing could prepare him for what came next. In 2015, after months of secret auditions, screen tests, and physical trials, Tom Holland was cast as the new Spider-Man. At only 19 years old, he stepped into the suit of one of the most beloved characters in cinematic history. It was a moment that rewrote the course of his life. A moment that transformed a boy from London into an international icon. Overnight, he became a household name, but the rise wasn't effortless. Behind the scenes, he endured grueling training regimens, high-pressure schedules, and the constant weight of expectations from millions of fans around the world. The fame was real, but so was the struggle to stay grounded. And yet, through every headline, every premiere, every blockbuster release, Tom remained anchored to his roots, his family, his longtime friends, and the values he carried from childhood helped him navigate the chaotic whirlwind of superstardom. Whether he was breaking box office records or dealing with injuries on set, he faced each challenge with the same perseverance that defined his rise from Billy Elliot to the MCU. Today, the world knows him as an actor, a producer, a philanthropist. But the real story, the human story, is far deeper, far more powerful, and far more inspiring than the red suit hero he portrays on screen. From the bright lights of the West End to the storm-struck shores of the impossible, Tom Holland's journey was no accident. It was a long, disciplined ascent, built on years of unseen struggle. Even after the success of his first major film, Tom did not relax. He continued training, auditioning, learning. He was never complacent. Because behind his talent was a childhood shaped by hard work, dyslexia, and the constant need to prove that he belonged. Before Hollywood embraced him, Tom faced numerous rejections. Casting directors often said he was too short, too young, too unknown. But Tom understood something many young actors never grasp. Success is not instant. It is earned. He kept showing up, kept auditioning, kept giving the very best of himself. Then came the call that would shift the entire trajectory of his life. In 2015, after a secretive and highly competitive audition process involving acrobatics, acting tests, and chemistry trials with Marvel's biggest stars, Tom Holland was chosen to become the next Spider-Man. Marvel didn't just want an actor, they wanted authenticity, youth, athleticism, and emotional depth. Tom was all of that and more. At just 19, he became one of the youngest actors to ever join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The pressure was enormous. Taking on a role previously held by beloved actors meant that Tom would face instant comparison, instant criticism, and instant global attention. But he handled it with grace. He performed many of his own stunts, impressed directors with his discipline, and connected deeply with fans who saw in him the perfect blend of heart and humor. His debut in Captain America: Civil War, 2016, was electric. Audiences immediately fell in love with his version of Peter Parker. Youthful, energetic, vulnerable, and relatable. This was not just another cast member for Marvel. This was a cornerstone for the future of the franchise. Over the next years, Tom became one of the most recognized faces on the planet. With Spider-Man, Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home, he broke numerous box office records, including becoming part of the 6th highest-grossing film of all time. But behind the scenes, he dealt with burnout, a real human cost of non-stop filming, press tours, and the overwhelming intensity of fame. Tom would later admit that playing Spider-Man consumed him emotionally, making it difficult to separate himself from the character. There were moments when he felt lost in the noise of expectations. Still, he grew. He pushed himself into new roles, darker, deeper, more dramatic. The Devil All the Time, Cherry, The Crowded Room. Each performance proved he was not just a superhero actor. He was an artist searching for growth, for truth, for new worlds to explore. Meanwhile, his personal life remained grounded. Tom continued to stay close to his family, his parents and 3 younger brothers. No matter how loud the world became, home remained his sanctuary. Even as he built a powerhouse career, he protected his private life fiercely. His relationship with Zendaya, though widely discussed, remains something he treats with respect and privacy. Tom also poured his energy into philanthropy. Alongside his family, he expanded the brothers' trust, raising funds for underrepresented charities and using his platform for real impact. Whether helping children in crisis or supporting global humanitarian causes, Tom proved that fame can be more than attention. It can be a tool for change. And as his career grew, so did his maturity. Recently, Tom has spoken openly about stepping back from acting at times for his mental health. He has been honest about needing space, rest, and balance. In an industry built on constant speed, Tom made the courageous choice to slow down, to protect the person beneath the character. Yet he remains active. From new Spider-Man collaborations to upcoming dramatic roles, his story is far from over. Every year shows a deeper, wiser, more grounded version of Tom Holland emerging. one shaped not just by success, but by resilience. And so, his life today stands as a reminder. Greatness is not measured by fame alone. It is measured by character, humility, and the courage to remain human in a world that expects perfection. In the end, the story of Tom Holland is not a superhero tale. It is a human tale, a journey that began in a simple London home, carried through dance studios and school struggles, sharpened on the stages of Billy Elliot, strengthened through rejection, and launched across the world through the power of relentless dedication. Tom Holland did not wake up as a star. He built himself one disciplined day at a time. He overcame dyslexia. He endured industry rejection. He trained until his body could no longer move. He faced the pressure of one of the most iconic characters of all time, and he still found room for compassion, family, humility, philanthropy, and truth. His legacy is not just Spider-Man. His legacy is proof that greatness can grow from small beginnings, that a boy dancing in Wimbledon can rise to global stardom without losing the sincerity in his heart. And as the world continues to watch him evolve, as an actor, a creator, a philanthropist, and a man, one thing becomes undeniable. Tom Holland's greatest power was never in the suit. It was always in the person inside it. This is the real story. Not the myth, not the mask. Just Tom. Determined, disciplined, imperfect, human, and still rising.